Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to another Bolt Action version 3 battle report, where today Imperial Japan will be facing off against the USMC on this jungle island somewhere in the Pacific. Today's game will be Landgrab, where both sides will pick an opposite table quarter, and they will attempt to get enemy or forces into the neutral quarters for 1 victory point, and then 3 victory points for being in the enemy's table quarter for each unit, and then an additional victory point for destroying enemy units. On the table here we have lots of tree terrain. Everything you see here, like these little areas, will be considered soft cover if they're on them. And then shooting through them will also be soft cover to anybody getting shot at on the other side. We will also give the rice fields as soft cover, but be rough terrain. So, with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the lists. And here we have 1,000 points of Imperial Japan. We have a rifle platoon and an armored platoon. So starting with the rifle platoon, we have our officer with 2 extra men. We have 2 10-man infantry squads with a light machine gun in each and an SMG sergeant. They are regular. And then we have a 10-man veteran grenadier squad with 3 light mortars attached. Everybody else has rifles. And then we have a regular sniper team and 2 suicide bombers. And then moving on to the armored platoon, we have 2 regular Ho-Ros. This one here on the right will be the officer. And then we have the Type 98 armored car with coaxial and turret-mounted medium machine guns. There might be a light machine gun in there. I'll have to double check. But that is 1,000 points of Imperial Japan. And here we have 1,000 points of USMC. We have a rifle platoon, a heavy weapons platoon, and an armored platoon. So, starting with the rifle platoon, we have an officer with man, both with SMGs. And then we have 3 regular USMC infantry squads, 10 man. Each one has an SMG sergeant, a BAR, and a shotgun. And then moving on to the heavy weapons platoon, we have our officer with a man, both with SMGs. We have a medium mortar with spotter and a medium machine gun, all regular. And lastly, we have our armored platoon. We have 2 M3A3s, Stuarts. They've all been upgraded to veteran, giving them the gyro stabilizers, and they might also have an additional pintle mounted medium machine gun. I'll have to double check that as well. And this guy with the man popping out of the turret will be the commanding officer. So with that, let's go ahead and deploy the game and begin. Alright, we have deployed our forces. USMC squad is on this side. I've deployed my Stuart on the road here. Marine squad here. Medium machine gun squad in the jungle bush with an officer and another squad. Stuart on the left. Mortar team on the hill with the other officer. And an infantry squad in reserve. And then you'll notice the pin markers for the proprietary bombardment. I took one casualty and then everybody else got pins. And then moving on to the Japanese quarter, we have an infantry squad in the rice paddies, armored car out in the open, hoe row in the back here, sniper team in the jungle, officer behind there, veteran squad over here with a hoe row and a suicide bomber and another suicide bomber tucked away in there. They also had one infantry squad in reserve. They took no casualties from the bombardment, but they did take some pins. So with that, let's us begin turn 1. And we'll see what the first die roll is. And the first die is Japanese. And we'll let him decide on what he's going to do. Alright, first activation was the armored car. He did his order test and rolled a foobar. So let's see what happens. Go ahead and roll d6 for me. A 1. Friendly fire. The unit does not move and opens fire against a friendly unit, mistaking it for an enemy. Place a fire order by the unit. The opposing player controls the firing unit and it where wants their own, except that the chosen target must have an enemy unit within 12 inches. If no such target is available, the unit does not fire and panics instead, as described immediately below. So there is no enemy within 12, so you will panic. Alright, the armored car has reversed. Only 6 inches, and that's where it ended up. Next die. Next die is Japanese as well. And we'll let you pick your next move. Alright, Japanese has decided to activate the hoe row over here. Who's going to fire directly into my officer with the HE. That'll be a 4-inch template right there in the middle. It'll hit some friendly units. So this will be a 4 to hit. And that will hit that group. And this is, so we got 3, 4, 5 hits. So it'll be 5 dice. This will be +4 penetration, so 2s. So that is everybody. That's a whole. Okay, so that's officers gone. All 5 of them. Ouch, that one hurt. Okay, so I will take those out, and then that is D3 pins for each. So we'll do D3 for the medium machine gun squad for 2, and D3 for the Marine squad for 3. Alright, moving on. And that is all that's left of the devastation. Medium machine gun squad's on 3 pins now. The Marine squad is on 5 without their officer support. So, moving on to the next die. The next die is Japanese again. Alright, see what he does. Alright, his next activation is the sniper team, which is chosen to target my medium machine gun squad. So this will be a 3 to hit, which hits, and then a 3 to take a man out, which will do it. So that'll bring them to 4 pins. Taking out the gunner, and then I will have to make an order test to see if they stick around. That is a 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That will wipe out another unit. Just like that, the US are down 2 units. Go ahead and pull out another die for them. And then we'll go to the next die. Next die is US. Good. I gotta make something happen here. Alright, so for the US, I activated my Stuart over here on the road, and I had to do an order test, and that is what I rolled, which was a fail, meaning they do a reverse move, and because they reverse off the board, it is considered destroyed. So with that terrible roll, I have lost my 3rd unit in the first round for another point to Japan.
Undisciplined American dogs.
So with that, let's go ahead and roll another die, or pull out another die. Ah, another Japanese die. What shall they do next? Let's see what happens. Alright, for the Japanese, he's going to advance the Ho-Ro over here. So, order test. That is a 6 and a 1 for 7, 8, 9. That will pass. And that Ho-Ro will advance. Alright, so the Ho-Ro advances forward. He did a snap orders on the Grenadier squad, which is going to fire into this USMC squad. Same with the Ho-Ro. But before we get to that, slight correction over here. It was a direct shot from the Ho-Ro, so I would have gotten my cover saves. I rolled those. My officer was the only survivor. So with that, we move on. This will be a 5 to hit from the Ho-Ro into my squad. That'll miss. And then the Grenadiers, the mortar team's going to fire in on them. See if they're even in range. It's a 48-inch range, or 30 to 60. It might be too far, or too close, actually. Let me go ahead and double check those rules. Okay, I was reading the wrong weapon stat. The light mortar is 12 to 36 inches, so that will definitely reach that squad. So this will be 3 dice, needing 6s to hit. And nothing. And then everything else is out of range. The rifles are out of range, so with that we go to the next die. And the next die is US. So let's see if I can salvage this situation. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and activate my Stuart here. He's going to go ahead and advance and do a snap orders for this Marine squad to rally. So, starting with Stuart. It's a 7, 8, that'll pass. He will advance. And then a rally for the USM squad. That's a 5, that will do it. They will get rid of all their pins. Alright, that's where the Stuart ended up. I'm going to be firing into that squad in the rice field. He's not gonna go down. I'm also going to do my pencil mounted medium machine gun as well. So it's just be all my medium machine guns firing into that squad. So 9 dice. This will be hitting on 5s. For just 3 hits. And 4s to take them out. For 1. Just 1 and a pin. This will be a 5-up cover save. Go ahead and roll. And he gets a cover save. Just a pin then. So, bringing them to 3. And then we'll go to the next die. Next die is Japanese.
They're going to attempt to return fire.
Okay. Advancing or just shooting?
Probably just shooting.
Okay. Order test. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is a pass. They'll go down for 2 pins and they will shoot. Alright, he's decided to fire into this squad in the jungle here. Slight miscalculation on the range, so only his light machine gun will be able to reach. So this will be 4 shots hitting on 4s. For 2 hits. And then force to take mana. For nothing, just a pin. Back on that squad. Next die. And the next die is US. Alright, my next die, I've activated my officer here. He's going to advance and do a snap orders on the mortar squad. So let's do an order test for the officer. That is a 6, 7, 8. That'll pass. He'll go down to 1 pin and advance. And then order test on the mortar. Also a pass. Going down to 1. And then he will do a indirect fire on this squad out in the rice field. So we'll just go ahead and do that right there. Need a 6. And we got it. Look at that. So that will hit 3 of your guys. Not too bad. This will take them out on 2s, I believe. They went down. So, I believe... No, they fired.
Yeah, they fired.
Okay, so no cover save for this. This will just be 2s. That'll do it. So, medium mortar, HE2, plus 2 penetration. Yep, 2s. That takes out them and the light machine gun squad. I'll take it. Alright, and then we will advance my officer in that direction. Alright, next die was US as well. I'm going to go ahead and run this USMC squad. Order test. That's a 5, 6. That will pass, and they will run in this direction. The officer, he's decided to target my spotter over here in the cliffs. So it's going to be 3 rifle shots hitting on 5s. So that's just 1 hit, and he counts as being down. So this will be a 4 to hit, I believe. 5. Yep. Oh, he fails. Okay, so my spotter gets taken out. The cowardly Japanese take out the poor spotter. Next die. Next die is just the US, which is my officer here. He's going to go ahead and advance. So do an order test. That is a 10. 11, 12, back down with the pluses, +2, he still goes down. Alright, and with that, we go to round 2. Alright, and the first die of round 2 is Japanese. Alright, we'll let him decide what his next move is. Alright, so he's decided to activate the Officer Ho Row, which does snap orders on the Grenadier Squad, which will advance. They pass their morale test. And then the Ho Row is going to fire in at my tank over here. So this will be just a 4 to hit. And a 5 will do it. This will be a +4 penetration from the howitzer. Oh, that's a 10. So that is a full damage. Let's go ahead and roll a d6 again. Yeah. And that is a 5. And that is knocked out. My second Stewart is wiped off the board. It is not going good for the US. Moving on. Alright, so the veteran Grenadiers have moved forward, and they're going to fire everything into my USMC squad here in the bush. So this will be 4 rifle shots, and then 3 mortar shots. The mortar dice will be the green dice. So the 5's to hit. So that's nothing. No hits. I'll take that. Alright, moving on. Next die. Next die is Japanese. He's going to go ahead and activate the armored car. What are we doing? Advance.
Advance and fire on that squad right there.
Okay, order test. That is a 7-8. That'll pass. That'll go down, and it'll advance and shoot. Alright, Type 87, firing the medium machine guns into my squad. This will be hitting on 5s. For 3 hits, and 4s take man out. For 2, and that'll be 5s. 5-up cover save. Nothing. I'll take 2 casualties and a pin. Next die. Next die is Japanese as well. We'll see what he's doing. Alright, so Japanese, you're going to activate the Ho-Ro back there, and he's going to fire into my USMC squad in the jungle here. So this will be a 4 to hit. And a 2 will miss. I did go down with that squad, so they're going to be sitting tight. And then we'll move on to the next die. Next die is Japanese as well. Alright, next up for the Japanese, activating the sniper, who's going to target my officer here. So this will be a 3 to hit. And a 4 will hit, and then another 3 to take him out. Which will do it, as my officer goes down, giving them another victory point, bringing them to 4 victory points so far. That's about half my army so far. Alright, next die. Next die is Japanese again. Alright, for the Japanese, he got the next 2 dice, which he just activated the suicide bombers, which moved into this quadrant to get some points. And then the US finally got a die, so I'm going to go ahead and activate my mortar squad.
Should have moved him.
So this will be a fire. We're going to fire at that infantry squad again. So this will be a 5 to hit. We did have line of sight on them, so let's do an order test. It's a 6-7, that will pass. And this will be a 5 to hit with the mortar. That will miss, unfortunately. Next die. Next die is US, and we will go ahead and activate this squad here. They're just going to fire at the veterans out in the open, or in the jungle. So order test, it's a 4, that'll do it. They'll get rid of their pins, and we'll do some shooting. Alright, so USMC squad firing into the veteran grenadiers. This will be 4 shots from the BAR and shotgun, and 5 rifles, generating 1 additional rifle shot for a total of 6. So be hitting on 4s. Just 4 hits, and then 5 to take them out for 1 and a pin. Bringing them to 2 pins and a casualty. And we move on to the next die. Next die is Japanese. Alrighty, that's where the officer ended up. He's advanced, and he's going to fire 3 rifle shots into this USMC squad. So nothing. Actually, we forgot a cover save for that squad, so this will be a 5-up cover save. Alright, nothing. So he still went down. Alright, moving on. Alright, for the US, I brought in my reserve unit, so the squad moved up onto the board here. And then Japanese got the next die. He activated this infantry squad, which passed their order test. And they advanced forward and is going to fire into this squad. So this will just be 6 rifle shots, hitting on 6s. For 2 hits, and then 4s to take a man out. For 2, and that'll be 2 5-up cover saves. For 1, and 1 casualty. And then we will move on to the next die. Next die is Japanese, which I think is just your reserves. I'm gonna bring them in. All right. Order test. That is a 7. That'll pass. And they will advance or run on the board. And with that, that's where the infantry squad ends up, moving into this quarter over here. And then last die was the US. I just advanced my officer over here into cover. And with that, we will go to round 3. And the first die of round 3 is US. All right, I'll take that. I'm going to fire with the mortar. They're still in that area of my fire, so this will be a 4 to hit this time. And that misses. That's unfortunate. All right.
Mortar.
Next die. Next die is US as well. All right. We're going to... We're going to fire this squad into this squad in the rice paddies. So, do an order test. 5, 6, they pass. And we'll count on some shots. Alright, this will be 2 BAR shots and 2 shotgun shots with 4 rifles generating a 5th rifle shot into that squad, hitting on 4s. They did go down as well in response. That's not bad. 4 hits. 4s take a man out. 4, 2. And 2 4-up cover saves for just 1. So they'll take 1 casualty and go to 3 pins. And then we will go to the next die. Next die is US as well. Alright, I will think about this one. Alright, that's where the USMC squad ended up. And then we're firing into the rice paddies here. So this will be 2 BAR shots, 7 rifle shots with an additional 2 generated for their special rules, and this will be hitting on 5. So just 3 hits, unfortunately, and 4s take man out for 3, and that'll be 3 4-up cover saves for 2. So they'll just take 1 more casualty and another pin, bringing them to 4. And then we'll go to the next die. Next die is Japanese. Okay, so for the Japanese, he activated his officer here, who's going to fire in at this USMC squad, but also doing snap orders on the armored car and the veteran grenadiers. So we'll do mortar shots going into the USMC. This will be hitting on 6. 4. That's 1. That'll be a 1-inch template with a light mortar. Yep. Where do you want that?
Where's your BAR?
That would be right here.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and
do it on there. Okay, so that'll hit the officer and the BAR. That'll be 2. This will be +1 penetration, so 3s. So you got 1. So I'll take out 1. I'll go ahead and I'll remove the bar, I suppose. Yeah, we'll take him out. And then that'll do D2 pins. For 2 pins. Okay. And then 3 rifle shots hitting on 5s. For 1. 4 to take a man out. Nothing. And then moving on, 3 rifle shots from the officer. These will be hitting on 4s. For 1. Another 4 to take a man out. Got him. 5-up cover save. No. So I'll take another rifle guy and another pin. And then 6 shots from the armored car into them as well. Hitting on 4s. That is 3. 4s take them out. For 3. And 3 cover saves. 5 up. Just a 1, so I'll take 2 more casualties and another pin. Bringing them to 4. And then with that, that'll end the Japanese activation. Take a die out for the armored car. And then next die. Alright. For the Japanese, he's activating the Ho-Ro next, which will be firing into this squad here. So this will be a 4 to hit with a howitzer. No, that will miss, thankfully. Alright, next die. Next die is US. And we will activate my USMC squad right here. They're going to advance for a 10, 9. That will fail. They will go down. Next die. Next die is Japanese. Who we activate next?
We'll run.
Alright, infantry squad over here is going to run. Alrighty, now that's where they ended up after running. Next die was the US. This is my last die. Went ahead and activated the officer to fire into that squad that's advancing on him. So this will be 4 shots hitting on 4s with the SMGs. So that's 3 hits, and this will be 4s to take him out. So just 1 and 1 pin. And then with that, we move on to the rest of the Japanese activation. For the Japanese, he's going to activate this other Ho-Ro, which is going to fire into this squad as well. This will be a 4 to hit. And a 6 will hit. That'll be a +4 or a 4-inch template, which will get all of these guys here for a total of 6, 7. 7 dice, taking them out on 2s. And that takes out just 5 of them. Alright, and then D3 pins for 3. And then we'll move on. Alright, and then for the last die for Japanese, it is the sniper team over there, which is going to target this squad in the jungle. This will be a 3 to hit. No, that'll miss. And with that, we go to round 4. Alright, and the first die of round 4 is Japanese. Alright, who are we going to start with? Bonsai! Alright. Infantry squad here is going to do a bonsai charge on my officer. So, hold on, do an order test. Probably won't fail it, but let's see what happens. So it's a 6, 7, 8, 9. That passes. They will do a bonsai charge. I will fire in on you with 4 SMG shots. This will be just 4 to hit. For 2. 4 to take a man out. I take out 1. And then this is considered a defensible position, so I will roll first. So this will just be 4s to take a man out. They have SMGs. I'm pretty sure they get tough fighters. Let me double check. Alright, the bonsai charge comes roaring up the hill. We suppress them with SMG fire, and then they close in for the melee. So this will be tough fighters for the SMGs. We need 5s. Take a man out. I got 1, re-rolling the other. For 2. So I take out 2 before they even close the ranks. And that leaves What does that leave? That leaves 6 left. One of them is a tough fighter as well with the SMG. So go ahead and roll that one separately.
How many dice is it?
Just one. 6 dice. One is separate. All right, this is to be the tough fighter. That misses for a reroll. Nope. And then the rest, needing 5s for 2. So that is a tie. We will go another round. You lose. Oh wait, no, we won't. I only got 2 guys, so that takes out them. And another victory point to the Japanese. Moving on to the next die. Alright, for the Japanese, he did another snap orders with his officer here. The veteran grenadiers ran forward, getting closer to that squad. And then the armored car moved forward, is going to fire into him with 6 shots. This will be 3s to hit for moving and then point blank. So everything but 1, and then 4s to take him out. And that'll be just 4 casualties, 4 cover saves. 5 up cover save. I take 3 casualties. There's only 3 guys left. That squad gets wiped out. Moving on. Alright, next die is Japanese. This Horo on the far end is going to fire into this other infantry squad. This will be 4 to hit. Oh, that misses. Next die. Next die is US. We're going to try and do some damage, maybe. We're going to fire the mortar. We're going to do... There'll be a 3 to hit them there in the field, but we're going to go for the armored car. Nope. That is a miss. Next die. Next die is Japanese. Alright, next up, this Horo advanced forward is going to fire into this squad as well. This will be a 5 to hit. Miss.
Another miss.
Alright, next die. Next die is USMC. We're going to try and fire with this squad into the Grenadiers out in the open. So, order test. It's a 4. 5, 6, 7. That'll pass. They'll go down to 2 pin markers and we'll do some shooting. Alright, so this will be 3 rifles generating a 4th, 2 SMG shots, and 2 shotgun shots into the Grenadiers here. So this will be hitting on 5s. For 2. And then 5 to take them out for 1. So that'll take out 1 guy in a pin. Next die. Next die is Japanese as well. Activating the sniper. Who's going to take a shot at?
The officer.
Over here? Mm-hmm. Alright. So this will just be a 3 to hit. 36-inch range. Yeah, they're in. That will hit. And then 3 to take a man out. Nope. Just a pin. Next die. Next die is Japanese as well. You got your infantry squad in the rice field. 2 suicide squad members, which don't need to do much of anything.
They're going to attempt to move and fire.
Okay, advance.
Advance, thank you.
Alright, order test.
Nice.
So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they pass. And they will advance and shoot. Alright, that's where they ended up. And then firing into this squad, this will be 4 rifles, needing 6s. Nothing. Next die.
Oh, those are both mine.
Next die is Japanese as well. Suicide bombers. Going down.
They're going to run.
A run. Alright. Bomber ended up over here, and then US had the next die, which I passed morale test on these guys, firing into this squad out here on the open, on the hill. So we got 6 rifle shots, 5 generating 1, and then 2 BAR shots. This will be hitting on Forest. So everything but 2. And then Forest take man out for just 1 and a pen. And then with that, we go to the next die. Alright, and with that, the other bomber just ran further into the quarter. And with that, would come to the end of round 4. And I think as the Americans, our officers are dead, our lines are broken, we will concede defeat and make our escape off the board for a Japanese overwhelming victory.
Long live the chrysanthemum throne!
Alright, thanks for watching, guys.